This morning there was a thought and a prayer, and this was orientated around the picture that was selected. The picture was of a line of trees with a pathway. And in the evening, of course, we sit down and use the reflection to introduce ourselves to meditation. Meditation, we have a wonderful capacity given to us, imagination. Imagination comprises two aspects: the outer world presented here and now, and the world of memories. And these are the two components in our flower garden that we can make a garland with. And then with that imaginary scene, we can allow our minds to be led into a meditative journey, if you will, just like walking down a path. And as we walk down a path, one thing we know, we have great spatial awareness. We know what is near and we know what is far. But a child doesn't necessarily have that spatial awareness. If you ask a child to draw, the spatial awareness problem comes in. And it's as if a child has to learn how to view things from an adult point of view. But you see, even as adults, we have that same kind of childlike outlook. I'll always remember when the General Secretary of the Sharda Math came to visit us some years ago now. I introduced her with all the glory of the General Secretary, and she gave me a motherly look. Many people have heard this from me previously, and said, pointing at me, "He may say all that, but I'm just a child of the mother." When we talk about love of God, we first have to put ourselves in a certain position, either as a child. These are different bhavas, moods, either as a child or a parent. These moods are known, as a companion, as a friend, and so on. Or just as a calm, peaceful presence. Whichever way it is, we start with a feeling. So the Holy Mother says something very curious to us. She says, in meditation comes from the heart and then the mind. And I take it what she means is that all the pictures that we make, that is, the garland of flowers that we have assembled from our own scenes and those within our memory, combined and made into a beautiful set of fragrant flowers for offering. That it starts with the feeling, because we have this imagination accompanied, as I say, by the feeling. And then what she means by the mind, I take it to mean that she says, go deeper now. Find out the deeper thing, away from the emotions. Deepen the feeling until there's an actual contact. The actuality of the subject of meditation gets presented to us. And so as I wrote this thought, I thought that our view of things is not exactly accurate either. Our perspective is different. We take this world to be a reality, and yet our Vedanta, through various arguments, tells us that this is just an apparent world. It's a presentation, a woven scene from different divine components presented for our use. And what does a child do? The child sees the scene from afar, thinks that the most distant tree is very, very small. And when the child goes closer, the spatial awareness changes, and the child realizes that it is very big and can be clambered on. When I was small, because I was born, as many of you know, at a very young age, but I had what I thought was a horse. It was actually a plum tree. And I used to clamber on it and bounce up and down and make it like a horse, pretend it was a horse. And I used that in a poem somewhere to illustrate that we are all using something that is within our imagination and relying on that for all our rewards and pleasures. And it works for a while. Short term, it can work. But sooner or later, we realize our perspective is not exactly what it should be or could be. And when we realize that, then we start changing our values. We can't see the value of what we choose in normal daily life as a strategy or as an object for our satisfaction, for our reward, for our consolation. So, of course, many people today are looking for some kind of internal consolation. People suffering from loneliness, perhaps. People suffering from a sense of confinement. People are worried about the virus and so on. Naturally, every evening we bring it up because we are living it with it daily. Those people who normally work in the office are working from home. Children normally going to school are now at home. So this we understand and take for granted. No need to stress on it. But naturally, we have to revise our behavior and way of thinking of things. And in that, we have to have the optimistic attitude of seeing this as a great, great advantage, something that we can learn from. And when we shift our values and shift our vision, we find that there are more profound and important things that please us. And so we can take a mystic journey. This is a reflection, evening reflection, designed to lead us to a more meditative state. And all meditation is a kind of inward journey. And we can use as our example, as our analogy, a row of trees with a pathway leading off into the distance. And we can use the capacity of imagination to mentally walk on this road. But instead of being a road that leads to an outside destination, we can just imagine that the path changes. The path, instead of having trees, green trees, trees that reflect spring on the sides of the road, we can now enhance the colors. We can enhance the textures. We can make the road gold if we like. Our imagination is unlimited. We can imagine that we are walking hand in hand with our divine guide, and that joyfully we are walking together to an inner realm which opens up more and deeper and vaster opportunities. And so, with this in mind, this can be a theme for your meditation. The purpose of these daily thoughts and prayers is not only to inspire you during the day, but also by the time the evening comes, to suggest some kind of theme that you can use for evening meditation. So, with these small words, and I apologize now for such a lateness in the broadcast. I was pressing the wrong buttons, of course, but now I have learned for tomorrow and the subsequent days. And so, thank you for your patience. So, let us now be a little quiet. And with this material given for this evening, we can now settle the body, settle the mind a little bit, and put ourselves in the presence of the source of life, source of light, and source of love. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.